Okay, here we are back again with Steve and Steve Quayle and John Stokes. Let me elaborate on what Steve said on the last video as far as that television and all, and his television programming, not the truth. He's exactly right, and I'll biblically confirm it, because the Bible declares that Satan is the prince of the power of the air. He controls the airwaves. So he controls it. He controls the media. And what does he do? He steals, kills, destroys. He's the father of lies, Satan is. So how can you in any way, shape, form, or fashion expect that you're going to get the truth off of that television, that one-eyed devil? Let's go ahead with the interview. I'll try to be brief in my comment. Let me say one more thing too. And I may say this several times before this wraps up. Matter of fact, Jesus said in Matthew, the book of Matthew, the words of Jesus was this. Watch this. In verse 10 of 24, he says, "Then shall many be offended, shall betray one another, and shall hate one another." That's why, guess what? Guess what? That's why I've got a Navy veteran, 46-year veteran, that's my friend. And then I do have a few internet friends. That's it. That's it. You're going to even have relatives to betray you and hand you over so they can gain favor with this evil, satanic, garbage system. It says, they will hate one another, betray one another. Many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. Talking about the preachers of today, most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And it also says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many will grow cold, wax cold. And I've said this in previous videos, but I'm going to expand on it again. The love of many will wax cold, and I'll read the next verse in just a minute out of my heart. But that wax cold is this. Because of iniquity, because the flagrant promoting of homosexuality, the flagrant killing of babies is become so normal that people that used to love, and if a person sees a wreck or killing, they watch it on that television. They've watched it so much till it don't even bother them, even though it's a movie, to see the killing take place. And guess what? The love is wax cold. When you light a candle and you light that wick, it don't immediately turn to liquid. No. That candle, that flame burns slowly, 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 slowly until there's no more candle left. Well, that's what Jesus was referring to. There is so much iniquity. There is so much promoting of ungodly mess in society that when people see it, they just think it's the normal. And that was the plan of Satan. Through television, through media, through corrupt politicians, through corrupt presidents, okay? Through these tax-exempt status things that, they just promoted evil so much till most of the American people think that evil is good when it ain't. It says, woe to them that call good evil and evil good. Violence shall follow them. Get ready for the violence because it's coming. But anyway, in the last part of that, after it says that the love of many shall wax cold, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, then it says this. Jesus says this. He gives a warning, but he also gives us great hope, and he gives us great strength in this verse. He says, to him that overcometh to the end, the same shall be saved. Let's move on with the interview.
Absolutely. American idolatry, that isn't going to save us. Dancing with the Stars, especially when these people are ready to blow us to kingdom come and want you to go amongst the stars. Whatever it is out there, see, it's entertainment. It's leisure time. And when you provide the leisure, you put somebody to sleep. I coined a word when I first started in talk radio 15 years ago, narcosynthesis, okay? That means you anesthetize the person and you give them a false reality or a fantasy world. They become so accustomed to it that reality no longer holds any sway or relevance. A good example of that is the role-playing games that people get into on the internet. In real life, they may be, like some guy that does whatever the most menial task is, in his mind or in society's mind, but he takes on a superhero prominence through role-playing. So what I'm saying is the divorcing between reality and fantasy has now come to such a degree that's why people no longer can think. And when you lose your critical thinking ability, you can have anything rammed down your throat.
No, you'd be so proud of this audience, Stephen, when you come over here to get to meet him, because per capita, I deal with Steve Shank of eFoods Direct and Joyce O'Reilly and all her health products and the Interfood stuff. per capita, there's more product being shipped here to Northwest Montana than any other state around.
Well, I agree with that. I don't know if your listeners know this, but during Y2K, 2 years before and 2 years after, that I was one of the largest, the top 2 food dealers in the United States with canned dehydrated food. And for the record, John, you may not know this, I'm one of the original starters of the survival and preparedness movement. I went into my first survival store in 1974, and there were just 3 of us in those days on a national level. One was Bill Peer of Survival Inc., Harry Wyant of NitroPack. There was obviously ready-made foods and stuff, but I was the only guy that offered everything from custom survival kits. I've outfitted people that have gone to the Amazon or gone to the Himalayas. I mean, people that go around the world on boat trips. So, you know, I want people to understand this. I have been involved in practical preparation. For the record, I've owned firearms stores. I've been a Class 3 dealer. You know, I'm raised around firearms. My children are raised around firearms. I've got a daughter that's a singer that basically goes to, you know, schools that teach counterterrorism, and she's a fabulous shot. I'm proud of her, you know. Her own statement is she may be small, but doesn't mean she's stupid and can't shoot, you know. The point is that we've got a time compression upon us. The summer of hell is coming. The financial wherewithal of the United States has been totally sold off. And it may be a curious point. I'm telling people, boy, bank locally, shop locally. You guys, listen, that's why I'm moving to Kalispell and Whitefish. I married my wife. I've been married to her for 23 years. She's a Whitefish girl, okay? And there's no place I'd rather be in the world. And by the way, I know how many people up there get it, okay? But I also know that this show gets recorded and sent all over the world. But even with as many people as get it, they've got to understand that there is a plan here and martial law. And you guys have got a great sheriff in your country, or your county, you know. You've got a sheriff that understands a lot of stuff, or at least that's what our mutual friend Jeff has told me. And the thing is that most sheriffs don't understand that they're the highest authority in the land. They should be deputizing all their citizens, like Joe what's his name, Arpaio? Yeah, Arpaio in Phoenix just did. I don't know if you saw that story. The point is that we're coming to a very difficult time. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine how much stuff is trucked into Kalispell or on the rails, and when that stops, you know, I mean, shelves are going to disappear. I was the only voice 3 years ago talking about the ammo shortage. That's when I get the stupid emails. Oh, I can go to Kmart, Walmart, and buy all the ammo I want. Oh, really? You know, I got to tell you, obviously, the Chinese are buying all the commodities of the world. They're unloading trillions of dollars in currency as fast as they can. They want to turn the currency into commodities.
That's right.
And that's why, for those people that
even
want
Chinese
to...
John,
I've made a lot of people a lot of money. I'm not bragging, I just have. Obviously, if I put people into gold at $300-400 an ounce years ago, and it's $1,000 an ounce today, you know, or $950, whatever they're going to pay to get, you know, the thing is those people are happy. I've had people call me as late as 9 months ago saying, oh, I've got $2 million. This is a lady. I said, well, put at least a quarter of it into precious metals. She called me a couple months ago. She lost it all because her broker said, don't deal with those precious metals guys. All they do is sell fear. I said, well, ma'am, I guess you know now why I'm a dealer and they're a broker. You went broker listening to them. You would have had a better end of the deal listening to me. I didn't mean to be sarcastic. And by the way, someone who's lost her entire life savings, I meet people every day in my business. 99% of my business comes from out of state, okay? 99%.
Hey, Steve, we've got the hard break that's already upon us. I've overrode it for a minute. Can you stay on hold through the news and we'll pick her up again?
Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie. We'll be right back.